Hi, my name is Jane Koelsch, and this is my second year working for Lyrica Baroque as an administrative assistant.
Hello, my name is Winfred Felton, and I'm the administrative intern with Lyrica Baroque, as well as a bassoon performance major. I'm looking forward to sharing resources with you that will help you fulfill your recording needs and goals.
Getting ready for another exciting year of NCF, we wanted to take a moment to talk about the significance of the repertoire that we play as musicians. Historically, white, cisgendered men have been at the forefront of the narrative surrounding classical music. As a result, the standard repertoire that many of us learned as we were learning to play our instruments has excluded composers who don't fit into the white male category. This year, for NCF, each group competing is required to perform at least one piece by an underrepresented composer. We've put together a repertoire research guide with a variety of resources to not only help you find repertoire by those who have been excluded, but to also give an opportunity to learn and to understand why classical music narrative has excluded these artists.
It is important for us to learn and play this repertoire, as it has been excluded from the standard classical repertoire for so long. This exclusion did not stem from quality, but from the composer having a marginalized identity. Due to this, we as classical musicians have a whole spectrum of music that is rich in quality that we simply have just not tapped into. By instating this requirement, we hope to not only bring light to these compositions, but also provide you with a musical experience that you may have never experienced before. There is a rich collection of composers and their works to choose from, and we anticipate that this will be rewarding for you and your chamber groups. There are many different ways in which we're able to find and search for these pieces. One good way to start is through the CDD, also known as the Composer Diversity Database. This database has a massive collection of underrepresented composers, as well as titles of their works. It is an excellent resource and will probably be sufficient for many groups to find something that fits their needs. In general, the perusal of the web can also yield you a large amount of information. If you are in search of visual aid for your compositions, YouTube and Vimeo are excellent resources, as they allow the public to upload records of pieces that there might not be professional recordings.
Another place to utilize as a resource is your local or school library. Libraries often subscribe to a variety of databases for their patrons to use. Databases can include peer-reviewed articles for music history research, recordings of performances, and more. If you live in an area with a college or university that offers a music program, you may also be able to visit the music library to help further your research. If you find a score that you'd love to check out, but you don't attend that school, you can talk to the librarian about how to get a copy to your local library or see what other resources they offer. If the score is in the public domain, you may also be able to scan it if you're not able to check it out. Another really helpful tool at libraries is interlibrary loan. This is where something might not be available at your library, but the librarian can help locate it at another library in your district or possibly outside of your district and get it to a location that you can access it. The first resource on our guide this year is Hildegard Publishing Company, which highlights the music of women composers. You can search directly by composer name, instrument, or historical period, and once you've found the piece you're looking for, you can purchase it directly from them rather than having to go somewhere else. They also have a fantastic highlight of Black women composers and their pieces on a separate section of their website.
One resource that might help you and your chamber group find music is the Composers Equity Project. The Composers Equity Project is a resource by Chamber Music America that contains a list of non-conforming and underrepresented composers.
Another great place to look is the Facebook page by New Music Equity Action. On their page, they say that we are an assembly of composers, performers, and administrators in the USA whose work creates new music. We gather in order to prioritize in our work the values of anti-oppression, anti-racism, equity, and inclusion. This is a great place to look if you're looking for a more community-based resource. Another great place to look is Databases of Repertoire by Underrepresented Composers. This is put together by League of American Orchestras, and they provide several different databases and websites for continued research. We mentioned databases earlier as a great place to start, and this page has compiled them, a lot of them, all in one place that you can kind of dig around and start branching out from there.
As mentioned earlier, YouTube is a great resource for finding music by underrepresented composers. For you, we have included a YouTube playlist filled with woodwind quintets by underrepresented composers. We hope you're able to utilize this playlist and hopefully it will lead to you discovering some more new music along the way. Another great resource that we will include for you is the Institute for Composer Diversity. By using this resource, you'll be able to find a list of underrepresented composers and a list of underrepresented composers' works. We also include a link to a CPR article titled Black Composers You Should Know. This includes a list of composers that most people don't know about, but these composers have been making great music for decades. It is time we tap in and make their voices heard.
Earlier, we mentioned that schools and school libraries, specifically music school libraries, are a fantastic place to do some research. Indiana University's Latin America Music Center has virtual access to their archives and special collections that specifically center around Latin American music. Another publisher to check out is Just a Theory Press. They offer solo and chamber works, a place to buy their pieces on their page, and an opportunity to learn about the composers that wrote those pieces all in one place. Another fantastic resource is Quarteto Latin Americano Virtual Library. This is a virtual library and database that centers around Latin American music. If you're looking for a specific composer or a specific time period in Latin American music history, this is a great place to start.
Another great resource that might help you find composers is the LAFI Publishers. LAFI stands for Latin American Frontiers International Publishers.
Another school that's put together a resource is Manhattan School of Music. They've made a page titled Black Creators, a List of Resources. And this resource is slightly different than any other on our guide because instead of offering a single virtual library, a single database, or another website to go to, it actually alphabetizes a long list of databases. These databases include anything from music theory research, music history, ways to find new pieces, and more.
Another resource you might want to tap into is Lily Flute Music. Lily Flute Music is a Latin American music publisher run by a Colombian composer and flautist. This website contains many works by underrepresented composers, as well as artists playing these works. It is important that every artist has a voice. Also, in doing this, we are able to pave the way for current artists and composers, whose voices are still being oppressed today. By playing their pieces, we encourage them to continue creating. When these voices are motivated to create, it helps create a classical music genre that is equal and fair.
We hope that this has been helpful in putting together repertoire for NOLA Chamber Fest 2022. If you have any questions about research, buying a piece, or working with your local library, please don't hesitate to reach out to us for help. We are so excited for this next year of music making, and we cannot wait to hear what you perform.